Hey, my name is Vivian with BP3 Arinda, and I'm going to share the last message out of the Shine book, a Pleiadian message to awaken your true purpose and power. And it's about to be dark. I was trying to hurry up and make the video. It was such a nice day out today. It's message 59, the Emerging World, Part 8. The change in awareness that we have described is already taking place. The biggest change is in the perception of the younger generation. They see through all the dishonesty and deception around them. They are confused, not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't understand how the older generation can just accept many things that are not true or clear. This is part of the growing change in consciousness and awareness. And I totally believe that, the kids that are being born are being born with higher consciousness, and I think that that's why vaccines have increased like they have over the years, is because the people who are in control of this matrix we live in, or maybe who did have control over this matrix we live in, they know, and they were trying to do what they could do to stop it. So that's one of my things that I was going to talk about on my conspiracy truth video, was vaccines and what I think that they're doing to the kids. And just having 5 kids myself and not really questioning the vaccines until after I had my spiritual awakening, I really started questioning. I always questioned the government and stuff like that, but I guess I just always believed that medicines and doctors and stuff like that were out there to help us. And I just now that I have learned the truth about a lot of things and come up with my own conclusions or theories or whatnot about different things, I just think that the kids, like, I could tell something different happened in Evie. She's 3 years old now, but she was probably around 6 months old. She got a shot. Oh, it's starting to rain. She got a shot and she ran a fever for like that night, and they say that that's normal or whatever. And she just started throwing fits after that, and she was such a calm baby. I mean, when I gave birth to her, I was bleeding a lot, and her dad actually, he had an ongoing asthma thing. So after he thought that, the baby was born and everybody was safe and healthy and everything, he went to the ER to get a breathing treatment. And they were actually admitting him in. His asthma was so bad and whatnot at that time. But so I'm in the hospital room, I had the baby on my chest as long as I could, as they were trying to get the bleeding to stop and whatnot, but it was pretty invasive and pretty painful. And so I eventually asked them to put Evie over in her little bed. So I remember laying there at that point, seeing my little baby. She's just calm over there looking around, and I'm laying there like bleeding to death, and Josh doesn't even know what's going on. And I was just thinking to myself, wow, is this how it's going to be? Is my baby going to lay over there and I'm just going to like lay and bleed to death? I mean, it was really that bad. It was, I don't even know how long. It seemed like an hour or 2 that I was just bleeding, and they couldn't get it to stop. There was, my midwife, there were 8 other births that day, so she was busy with other people. So they had actual doctors from the hospital, and there were 2 different lady doctors who was trying to stitch or whatever. I guess, one actually finally held pressure wherever the bleeding was coming from until it stopped. And but I was just laying there, and I was thinking, wow, is this really how it's going to happen? It's like a Lifetime movie that I'm just going to lay here and bleed to death and die. But then I was just reminding myself, no, you've prayed for this moment ever since you found out you were pregnant, because I was overweight, I was older. So that's what I always said was, wow, I hope I don't have like a heart attack on the labor table or whatever. And here I manifested that. Now that I know about manifestation, I manifested me going through what I went through. But I'm just telling that story to say how peaceful she was. She was just always such a peaceful baby. And after that shot, that time, and it was a round of shots. She probably got 2 or 3 shots that day, and I can't tell you which ones. I'd have to go back and look. And she got shots again after that, only because I have had this fear that they would do something to the kids that weren't vaccinated or something, just to scare people into getting the vaccines or whatever. And plus, I just believe, we're divinely protected and divinely guided, and it doesn't matter what a man tries to do to us, that there's a divine protection there. And if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. If it's not, we'll be protected. And so I have gotten her shots since then, but she hasn't been to the doctor or gotten shots in, I'd say, at least a year. Maybe not that long, but getting really close. I don't know. And just like my boys too, I just don't want them any medicine. All of my kids were just sick a month ago. It was over a month ago. I think the corona thing was just starting to be like, it was talked about and whatnot, but anyways, not here in the United States, obviously, at that time. And my oldest son, who works at an office job, he got sick from somebody, and he brought the sickness home, and my toddler got it. And she was really sick for like 3 days. I almost ended up giving in and taking her to the doctor, only because she would talk about being really dizzy, and that made me feel weird. And but yeah, she felt better, and like 3 days later, she was fine. And then my Adam, he is 11, he got it, and his lasted about 5 days, probably the sickest that I've seen him be, in the several years. Well, then Tristan, my 12-year-old, he, on the other hand, he thought that I should have taken him to the doctor, and he already thinks that I'm a crazy anti-vaxxer, and so he was very negative. He was very, very negative, and I felt like his negativity affected his sickness. Like, it increased it. I almost had to take him to the doctor just because it was prolonging. He missed like a week of school. And anyways, yeah, I hope you guys can hear the rain. I love listening to it. Well, I just appreciate you guys being with me and sharing these messages about the Pleiadians. I know I got off on a ramble about my kids, but I strongly just believe that our medical field has been designed to hurt our children, not to help our children, especially when, God's sending these kids down here to us with a higher consciousness. They're already enlightened. They're, coming down here to help. He's sending them down here with more light to help spread light into this dark world. And yeah, these dark evil ones are trying to stop that. And that's why we have all of these sicknesses and, issues with kids. And I know a lot of people don't want to get into all of that, and I'll talk about that more in my other video that I want to make about all the things that I think, and I'm just going to give no craps about what other people think about it. Just like my hair, I started messing with it, and I said, well, we'll just call them Pleiadian puffs. Well, thanks for tuning in and listen. I will talk to you the next time. Bye.